The sound of the book slamming against her head echoed through the cold marble halls of the mansion. Emma staggered back, clutching her temple, her vision swimming in and out as the world blurred before her eyes. Her hands instinctively cradled her growing belly, as if shielding the tiny life inside from the violence that had just erupted. The man she once thought was her protector, her partner, her husband, stood there with rage still flickering in his eyes. She wanted to scream, to run, but the dizziness stole her strength. Her knees buckled, and in that split second, Emma realized something irreversible had just shattered, not just inside her body, but inside her marriage, her dreams, and the love she thought she knew. Before we dive deeper into this powerful story, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the strength of love even in the darkest moments, please take a moment to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Royal Stories. Your support keeps these real and emotional stories alive for more hearts to be touched. Emma was rushed to the hospital that night, her blood pressure dangerously high, her condition fragile. The scans confirmed what the pounding in her head already told her: she had suffered a concussion. The doctors spoke cautiously, reminding her of the risks, reminding her that stress and physical trauma could endanger both her and her unborn child. But Emma couldn't even process their words fully. Her mind was clouded with disbelief. How had love turned into this? How had the man she once admired for his charm, wealth, and generosity become someone capable of throwing an object at his pregnant wife? When her mother, Dr. Evelyn Harris, a respected neurologist, arrived at the hospital and saw her daughter lying weak on the bed, her heart clenched with fury. Evelyn was not just a mother in that moment, she was a warrior. Her hands shook as she examined Emma, but her voice carried a steel resolve when she spoke to the authorities. For years, Evelyn had watched Emma's marriage from the sidelines, worried by the small bruises explained away as accidents, the emotional exhaustion disguised as fatigue. Now there was no excuse left to hide behind. Her daughter had a concussion, her unborn grandchild was at risk, and Evelyn vowed she would not stay silent any longer. She filed charges against Emma's husband, Daniel, a self-made millionaire whose empire had given him a sense of power so inflated that he believed even the law bent beneath him. Daniel's reaction to the charges was cold and defensive. He claimed it was an accident, a heat-of-the-moment mistake. He promised Emma it would never happen again, but promises felt empty when Emma could still feel the sharp sting of pain, the weight of the book crashing against her skull. She remembered the nights of insults disguised as jokes, the arguments that left her feeling worthless, the isolation inside a house that looked like a palace but felt like a cage. Each memory was now evidence, proof that this wasn't the first time, and it wouldn't be the last, unless she broke free. The days that followed were heavy with tension. Emma struggled with more than just physical recovery. She wrestled with her emotions, torn between the lingering love she once felt for Daniel and the overwhelming fear of what staying with him might mean for her and her baby. At night, she lay awake listening to the soft rhythm of her unborn child's heartbeat on the monitor, whispering silent promises to protect the life inside her no matter what. She knew she had to summon courage she had never imagined she'd need. Meanwhile, Evelyn stood as her unwavering support, guiding her daughter through legal proceedings, counseling, and the difficult steps of detaching herself from a man who had once seemed like the answer to every dream. Evelyn often reminded Emma that no amount of money or status could outweigh her safety or dignity. And slowly, Emma began to see it too. She realized that love was not supposed to hurt like this. Love was not supposed to make her afraid of the next outburst, or keep her walking on eggshells inside her own home. The trial that followed was brutal. Daniel's lawyers tried to paint Emma as fragile, overreacting, even unstable due to her pregnancy. But Evelyn's presence as both a neurologist and a mother silenced many doubts. She presented medical evidence, spoke with authority, and reminded the court that no amount of wealth should shield someone from accountability. The public soon caught wind of the case, and Daniel's polished image as a philanthropist began to crumble under the weight of truth. For Emma, every court appearance was both painful and liberating. She stood there not just as a victim, but as a mother protecting her unborn child. Each step forward felt like reclaiming a piece of herself that Daniel's control had tried to erase. There were moments she almost gave in, moments she almost believed his tears and apologies. But then she would touch her belly and remember what was at stake. She was no longer just fighting for herself. She was fighting for her child's future. Months later, when the final verdict was read, Emma felt tears streaming down her cheeks. Daniel was found guilty of assault and sentenced, his empire shaken, his name tarnished. For the first time in years, Emma felt the air in her lungs expand freely, like she was breathing without fear. She wasn't just free of him. She was free to rebuild her life, to embrace motherhood with strength and peace. Evelyn held her close, whispering that she had never been prouder, not for surviving the pain, but for finding the courage to rise above it. Emma's journey became a story of resilience, not tragedy. She learned that brokenness could give way to strength, and that sometimes the end of one chapter is the beginning of a more beautiful one. Her child was born healthy, her mother by her side, and Emma vowed to raise her little one in a world filled with love, kindness, and safety. The very things she had once been denied. She became an advocate for women like her, speaking out against domestic violence, using her story to light the way for others who felt trapped in silence. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to Royal Stories. Share this video with someone who might need to hear it today. You never know whose life could be changed by the reminder that they deserve safety, love, and respect. Special request: comment below with the words, "Love should never hurt," to show your support for every woman who has survived and found her strength again.